Hello YouTube, you saw it on the title, you see me saying this in World Chat. We got to do something about the current meta. We have gotten to a point where you can literally slow targets down to a speed of 1. And when you slow a target to a speed of 1, and you can do this in PvP by the way, which means it is absolutely game over. They are not taking any more turns, they're just sitting ducks. Unless there's mechanism there in there is like, yeah, it's okay, you can be speed 1, but like you're just constantly countering an attack or hitting back. I feel like that's what we're gonna see in 2025 is heroes that can literally stand there and do damage on your enemy's turn, and they will just make the enemy kill themselves even though they have absolutely no speed required. That is my prediction for 2025. So let's go show a couple of things. First of all, I know a lot of people are asking me about my Marie. Yes, it is exclusive 0. Let's not talk about my summoning luck. It was absolutely dreadful. I was summoning yesterday, and to a point that I was so angry. I was like, I literally went hard pity on everything. I thought I would be a lot closer. You can see I am 150 away to my next 2 legendary. I am going to be very broke this weekend, this Christmas. If I want E3, I think I'll most likely stop at E2. I get one more copy here, get one from the event next week, and we'll call it a day. I am not going to E3 this Christmas. I am too broke to do that. I need to put those budget towards the new pet, unfortunately. All right, so let's explain a couple of things. So for Marie, how would you build her? I know a lot of people also after my videos on builds. I haven't put my blessings in yet, but what I will be doing is I will be stealing these beautiful crit damage ones over from Mekio, because Mekio is kind of out of the meta now, unlike how I said how great he was at the beginning of 2024. But you can see her stats right now. This is kind of looking good. If I put Mekio over, I'll be at 400 crit damage. Attack will probably get well over into the 60,000 once she is fully leveled to 180. Aura, I will recommend. If you have the money for it, you can definitely do versatility aura. You can go up to 45% skill damage. Both of her major hits are going to be skill damage, but you don't really need to go there. I think Boss Slayer works perfectly fine. She does need more direct damage, and if you're running Devouring Set already and the diminishing return, it's probably better off just putting more on direct damage, especially if you want to use her to kill bosses. At full, that's 40% from an aura perspective for 40 direct damage against bosses. And all of her damage considered as direct damage. Deep targeting also works as a budget if you are free to play and you manage to get like her to E1. I would say she's kind of useless at E0 in my mind. Okay, maybe except for the showcase I'm about to do, which is kind of slow the heck out of everything. But in PvP, like, she's not going to have the survivability added to your team until E2. Overall, yes, you can try to cheese things early game, but really exclusive 1 is where she's at, and she's going to really help things by slowing them down quite quickly, because at exclusive 1, whenever the enemies are taking turns, they're getting a layer of Christmas light. So a quick AoE and then spreading your cool gifts around a little bit. They're going to be imprisoned. They can't get turn meter, and they're just going to be slowed down to a complete halt. Now, let's actually show how this actually works in this video, just to point out how broken it is. I hope the devs are watching. I hope they reconsider. Maybe they won't, and my prediction will come true. In 2025, we'll see heroes that cannot be slowed down, or heroes that can do a lot of damage to the enemy on enemy turns. Right? That's the only way around it. And find some way that those heroes can also be immune to imprison. I guess it's just keep creating problems and solving the problems. I mean, that's how they make money, anyways. A little bit sad, but that's the reality of things. Okay, let's show her here. And this, I feel like after showing this, I hope people actually bring Maeve out. I have an E5 Maeve, by the way. So, and you can absolutely do this with your E0 Marie, which is what I have, right? Okay. So if you look at the enemy lineup here, and on my lineup here, hold on, let me just add a couple of hero. I'm just gonna bring out Beatrix for here. Let's not use Beatrix. Let's just use Santa because everyone has Santa probably. Santa. Oh, Nicholas. And we'll bring out Maeve. And people have forgotten about how good Maeve is when it comes to stacking those slows. So we'll start off by just quickly AoEing everybody. Now, if you already have her at E3, you would have had a pursuit. You would have, put someone slow down already. So hold on, let me just start over again. If you notice the enemy, okay, they're at 900 base speed. We're going to turn that number into a ridiculously tiny number. And this is multiplicative. So even if they're like at 2,000, 3,000 speed, you can bring it down to 1. So step 1, we slow down. And Maeve at exclusive 3, she can basically get 4 hits on this King Arrow, which means someone immediately goes into slumber status. A kaboom! And they are slowed down an additional 16%. So you can see our very first target over here is already down at 711. And after this beautiful one more slow, it is at a whopping 351. Next turn, very quickly, we're going to be able to get Marie to go. As soon as Marie goes, okay, Marie is going to go. You see that is a stack of 4. Now it's at 216. If you do the math, 216 divided by 900, that is a whopping 76% slow. But do you remember the video a little while ago where I showed you guys how you can stack the frost pet on top of it? So you can stack all 4 different types of slow together. Slow down, slumber, the Christmas lights, and the new pet, another 24% on top. These are not multiplicative, and they become additive in the calculation, all towards slowing. So then all the enemies are now at 1 speed. Now, once they're at 1 speed, they cannot gain turn meter whatsoever. And if they can't get turn meter, it is over. They're just going to be taking a beating. Now, if you have the meta ray pet, when they're slow to 76%, and you're able to get like a speed up on through Santa or something, like just it is just absurd how much slow you're gonna get onto the enemy. I think like here we are literally the same speed as the enemy. We're just gonna see if we can get to a point where we can stack so much slow on everyone that literally we're just lapping them over and over again. I remember both are about roughly the same speed, right? So here, let's see if we can get to a point where they are all with 4 layers and they have like slumber stacks. Here's 2. Let's get another one to slumber stack. This one's at 4. Let's give it some more. Here's another slow onto everybody. 1, 2, 3. And I think Slumber Mark, what's nice about Maeve is I don't think they ever wear off, right? Yeah, once they're on Slumber, and they have a chance of being hypnotized every 4 turns, but they're not even going to be taking turns. These dazzling marks, there is no cooldown on them, right? It's not like you have dazzling mark on them and they can't move anymore. This is like permanent. So for the rest of the battle, you can't get rid of this thing on you. So now we got 4, 4, 2, 2, 3. Let's slow this one down a little bit more. And right now Maeve is going to get a ton of damage because Maeve has the crit up. You can see synergizes really well. I almost feel like because of this change, does it bring Maeve into the meta? That's so cool. Slumber across the board. And one more round of it. Let's speed myself up. At this point, I think we got slumber on everybody, right? And we're slowing down the enemy to a point where I think we almost got frost marks on everyone. I think this is the last one we need to get some frost marks on. Okay. Now, of course, that exclusive one, this gets way easier, right? Because whenever they're taking a turn, they're getting a frost mark. But the enemy is so slow. Okay, we managed to do it. Okay, they all have frost marks. They all slumber. They all have slowdown. You can check across the board. The enemy's at 216 across the board. Oh, someone doesn't have it. The last one, I think. This one here. This one still needs a few. I think you get the point, right? If you think about the speed differential here, I am at 140 and they're at 200. So that means on average, I am taking 7 turns for every 1 turn the enemy is taking. If that is not cheating or broken, I don't know what is. And if we think about just forget about Marie for a sec, right? Bring Maeve along with the new pet. If you have the new pet, you can essentially slow down the enemy to 80%. And I believe it works on bosses. Someone has to confirm this for me. For most bosses in dungeons that can be slowed, you can slow them to a factor of now like plus Maeve, right? Plus Maeve. So that's like 80%. I guess dungeons is not a thing anymore because people are not worried about dungeon bosses anymore. But yeah, Maeve with all the amount of slow that comes in, this additional 16%, especially if they can be slowed, you're essentially making sure the boss doesn't move anymore. This is a whole new level of brokenness, and hopefully they realize this and maybe make a cap, right? Like we have damage reduction caps. For example, attack, I think, or I guess you can keep reducing attack. The max is reduced by 80%. But for things like, edit attributes, like there's a minimum you can do, right? Like shield effect, there's a -90, I think. For damage taken, yes, you have all of this negative, but in actual calculation, basic attack doesn't, you're at most you're reduced down to like 25%. I think I showed that in a video before. No, you can't go negative and do 0 damage by keep reducing their basic attack. You can at most, at a minimum do 24% of your basic attack, 24% of your skill damage, 24% of your direct damage. So if you multiply the two, it's like 1/16 of your damage going out. But there is a cap. They got to do something about the speed. There has to be like a minimum amount of speed you can reduce it to. This is too much. This is like 76%. Maybe they did put a cap on 75. So I really hope for anybody who has the Frost Pet, please go take it out. Go do this test for me, like against someone in Classic Arena. Bring Maeve, bring like someone with slowdown too, and bring Marie, and bring your pet. See if you can get them to 1 speed. If it is confirmed, that is absolutely broken. And I highly encourage you to run a team like that. Bring out Maeve out of your inventory, because my Maeve, I really think it could be cool. Because my Maeve right now, I haven't used her in a really long time. She's at exclusive 5. And there was a time where Maeve was actually staple in boss teams just because she can slow. All right. So with that, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Gandalf out.